Hey everybody, this is Andrew from Gameosity, and today we're going to look at Valeria, Card Kingdoms from Daily Magic Games. Valeria Card Kingdoms, and I'm just going to call it Valeria for now because that's just too many words, is designed by Isaias Vallejo, and the illustrations are by Mihajlo Dimitrievski. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. And the first thing I want to call attention to is the artwork, because the game is gorgeous. I believe this is the same gentleman who did the illustrations for the North Sea trilogy, which are another game about Vikings, and, well, this one doesn't really have Vikings, but anyway, the other thing that I want you to take a look at is Daily Magic Games doing something that I really appreciate. As soon as you open the box and you take out the instruction manual, you can see excellent box design. It looks obviously like there's a whole lot of room in here for that might be wasted space, but really this is just begging for expansions, and I've already got a couple in here. Got some nice dice. They have to be the same face. I'm not weird about that. Some tokens, and this is awesome because these are there's magic and money and warfare and victory points, and these neat little foam bits make sure that nothing falls out if you fastidiously store it vertically the way I do. In Valeria, each player is a duke who is trying to claim the throne of the Kingdom of Valeria, which has been vacated by the king, who did a great job protecting the place, but now he's old, and somebody needs to step in and do the job. And every duke will start with a couple of basic cards. We'll start with a peasant, which is the backbone of any sort of market economy in the Middle Age era, and a knight. Now, the way Valeria works is it's an engine building game. It's a dice rolling game. And so on your turn, you'll take your two dice and you'll roll them. And you will activate any card that activates on a 2, a 3, or a 5. So there are 3 chances for cards to activate. Now, the peasant activates on a 5, so they'd activate once. If I had instead rolled this, the knight would have activated. If I had instead rolled this, peasant would have activated twice. Now, what's really cool about Valeria is that, much like other engine building games that give you something interesting to do on other players' turns, in Valeria, if you roll and your characters activate, they give you 1 bonus on your turn and another bonus if another player rolls that. Now, in the case of the peasant and the knight here, those bonuses are the same: 1 coin, 1 warfare. But that's only because that the knight and the peasant are basic units. As you can see, the more advanced cards that also activate on different numbers, not just 5 and 6, they give you a more powerful bonus when it's your turn, and a less powerful but still useful bonus when it's not. In fact, some of these cards will give you, for instance, 4 warfare if you roll a 8 on your turn, but if someone else rolls an 8, you'll be given the opportunity to spend 1 gold to get the 4 warfare. It's an interesting little variable that your engine is going to start building up from, but how do you get more cards? So Valeria is an engine building tableau game, and every card that you add to your tableau makes your engine more and more effective, and it lets your dice do more and more for you. And the way you get cards to add to your engine is from this grid. This is the sort of offer that's available for every player, and every player will have their personal tableau that they're working with. This is the basic starter one, and we've added a cleric here to give you an example of how things work. Now, let's say on a dice roll, say it's my turn, and I roll that. It means my 1 activates, my 5 activates, and my combination 6 activate. And because it's my turn, I'm going to be getting the best rewards. And again, these are basic cards, so they only give very minimal rewards, but clerics, they give you 3 magic on your turn. So you get that 3 magic, and you get your 1 coin from your peasant, toiling in the field, and your 1 warfare from your knight. And you spend these currencies out in this grid, this offer here. The top row, these are all monsters. And monsters need to be defeated, and you defeat them by spending a number of the red warfare currency. And when you defeat a monster, it goes into your victory pile. You score that number of victory points at the end of the game, and you get whatever reward is listed on the bottom of the monsters. And each of these piles gets tougher as you drill down. There are boss monsters at the bottom of here who, I'll give you one example. Spider Queen's really tough to beat. In fact, you can't beat her with just Warfare. You need Magic too. But you get big rewards and lots of points for defeating her. These two rows are your citizens. And the citizens are the cards that will get added to your tableau, and they make your engine better. And you can see that there's basically one number per citizen, except for these, which are higher and they're less likely to get rolled. This is the very basic setup. This is the out-of-the-book first time, but there are alternates for almost every number, and with expansions they're undoubtedly going to be adding more. In fact, there are already a couple of expansion little packs out that add a couple of different citizen types. And you can see that the ones that aren't the basic knight and peasant actually give like huge rewards, and they make the others pale in comparison. And that's the benefit of having lots of diversity. You'll hire the citizens with your coins, and in fact every one that you hire beyond the first of its type costs a little bit extra, and it prevents the whole one person buying up all of a given number and then rolling, you know, a lucky 8 and then just getting a million resources for it. The final row are these domains here, and they cost a lot. They're very expensive to build for the most part. And not only do you need to pay for them, but you also need to have citizens that have the symbols associated with them. But every domain that you build either gives you an immediate one-time benefit or an ongoing effect for the rest of the game that make either you get more resources, more points, and as you build out your kingdom and you gather more citizens and you defeat monsters, you'll find yourself constantly flowing between having lots of resources and spending all of them. And in any given game, it felt like we were constantly cycling through. There was never a period of just amassing. There was always something interesting to do with your currency. Oh, magic. I forgot magic. Magic is wild. Magic can be used as either coins or warfare, but they can't be used by themselves. They have to be. You can't hire a citizen, for example, with just magic. You need to have at least one coin, and then, you know, enough magic to sort of hand wave them into thinking that they work for you or whatever. So the game proceeds, everybody rolling dice on their turn, getting resources, adding citizens to their tableau, fighting monsters, building domains, until a couple of different game end conditions can be triggered. Either all the domains get built, all the monsters get killed, or there are twice as many exhausted piles as there are players. And as soon as that happens, the current player finishes their turn, you go to endgame scoring. Now, the final bit of endgame scoring to be taken into account, you remember I said we were all dukes trying to prove our worth to this kingdom, and so each of the dukes secretly, kind of like in a la Lords of Waterdeep, has individual scoring mechanisms. Like Isabella the Righteous here gets some bonuses for militant characters and resources, whereas Hrothgar the Conqueror loves it when you kill monsters, and just gets lots of points for that. And there's a whole big variety of dukes. One or two in here are from expansions that I've got, but even the base game has a good number of them. And so they'll also provide sort of guidelines for how you play the game. I know they're not rules, they're guidelines, and they'll sort of push you in a direction. And the idea, I think, is sort of like how in Lords of Waterdeep, if you can figure out what another player's duke scores, you might be able to try and like scoop them a little bit. But honestly, that is way more aggressive than this game tends to be. It's a pretty laissez-faire game, with the exception of a couple of cards that let you steal from other people, and stealing's for jerks. But the nice thing is, because you've got all kinds of options for what cards you add and what cards you don't have to play with jerks. You can use rogues instead of thieves. It's your choice. Now, the only thing that I have to ding Daily Magic for is that in this first print run of the game, a couple of my cards are starting to warp, and it is only the most gentle of dings, because Daily Magic has said that they understand that it's a problem, and if anybody opens a package and finds that their cards are warping, and some of them are warping pretty bad. I mean, this is after I crushed them pretty good. they have offered to replace them. So if you pick up this game and your cards are at all warped, first of all, sleeving would fix this problem, but they've also promised to make it right, and I really appreciate that integrity. We think Valeria Card Kingdoms is a fantastic game. We highly recommend it, and we think it makes a really great addition to just any player's library. It's in this sort of light to medium weight little dice chucker that does a lot of really fun and interesting things. Thanks for watching. This has been Andrew, Gameosity. If you like our reviews, please like, comment, and subscribe. And feel free to check us out on Gameosity.com for all of our written reviews and antics. Until then, thanks for watching.